From Screen Junkies Studios in the heart of Los Angeles, this is Screen Junkies Movie Fights. Now your host, Andy Signore.
Hello, Screen Junkies, and welcome to an awesome episode of Movie Fights!
Yeah.
I'm so excited. We have so many amazing things to do today, and we have so many awesome people here to fight them. So welcome. The Batman-Superman trailer is the most breaking news. It dropped early because of the leak, and so we have to respond to it. Did we like it? Did we hate it? That's going to be on the topic today. Also, the Star Wars Force Awakens teaser 2 dropped, and it was amazing. We want to react to that. Terminator Genisys, Ant-Man trailers. It was a huge week for teaser trailers and trailers in general. Plus Wonder Woman, the director left. So many fun, relevant pop culture topics that I know you're all going to love, so stay tuned. If at any point you don't like one, what's wrong with you? But it's okay. Skip ahead to the next fight. Don't leave. Bottom right corner on YouTube, pick your fight. You can click it. It takes you to a nice portal, and you can see all the fights we're about to battle today. So get excited. Also, as always, don't forget we're on iTunes as well. If you're listening there, thank you so much. I hope you're driving somewhere or exercising or doing something awesome. If you're watching on YouTube, you can take us anywhere on iTunes. Go subscribe to our new RSS feed. It's in the link in the description below on YouTube, and find us there. There are 2 RSS feeds. Please find the new one. And so people help find the new one, go subscribe to it, review it, comment and rate nicely, just so we can hopefully do well on iTunes and all the people who love us there. So thank you, everybody. Now, let's meet who we have today. This is so exciting. I have a new t-shirt.
Yeah, nice shirt.
I was going to do it later, but I'll do it right now. Guys, we have new t-shirts. Honest Trailers, Screen Junkies Show, Screen Junkies, so many cool things. And you can get them at District Lines on our Screen Junkies store. So look up District Lines. Link again in the description below on YouTube, or districtlines.com/screenjunkies, and you can get these amazing, cool new t-shirts.
Nice.
So many people
shirt.
want them and ask us, where do you get them? We give them away on YouTube, on our shows, but now you can buy one if you're like, you know what, I'm sick of trying to win one of those. I want to get one myself.
Drop a couple
True
of ducats,
fan, go
can
for
be
it.
yours. There was awesome new Honest Trailer t-shirts.
These are fun. And it says trailers now. They used to say just trailer, and now I like better than it says trailers.
Nice.
A little nuance. Yep. Great. So let's meet our fights. Cue the clip.
Today's fighters are Hal Rudnick, host of the Screen Junkies Show, 1 win, 7 losses.
We don't need to say that part.
Trisha Hershberger, YouTuber and actress, 0 wins, 1 loss.
But I was so close.
Jason Inman, host of DC All Access, 1 win, 2 losses.
Wow, a lot on the line for you guys to bump up those ratios. I'm hoping someone's going to feel good at the end of the show. A couple of you might not. But let's see who you are. Hal Rudnick from Screen Junkies Show. We love you, buddy. The hairiest arms on the internet.
Oh, what's up? Good to be back in the movie fight octagon, and my arms are still hairy as F.
Next to him, you know him from DC All Access and a friend of this show, our producer, Jason Inman.
I decided to hide my hairy arms, but I'm really excited for the Hal Rudnick's face on a t-shirt. When's that coming?
That's a good one. You should think
I
of
like
that
it.
one. Would you buy that, guys?
The
Tell us in
bye-bye
comment.
shirt.
Yeah, the bye-bye shirt.
That should be on the back.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye on the back.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Cute.
Next to him, it's Trisha Hershberger. You're everywhere. Escapist, super fan builds. You just built an Iron Throne toilet, didn't you?
Totally, we built an Iron Throne toilet. It was amazing. If you're not watching super fan builds, you all should be.
I didn't know you were so good at building.
I wish I was building. No, I get the fun part. I just get to say, oh, you're a super fan? Yeah, let's geek out for a second. Also, we're going to give you this amazing one-of-a-kind collectible just because you're such a passionate fan. And
So fun. And you're at Escapist. You're doing stuff for them as well
so
right now.
good. Yeah, I'm developing like 4 new pilots for Escapist
Only
right
4?
now. Yeah, that in addition to keeping up with my personal channel, youtube.com/nerdychick5. So there's a ton going on.
You are a busy girl. I love
Yeah.
it. And we love you. Thank you for coming back. This is so exciting. I've already talked about the t-shirts. Please check them out. But there is one question on Twitter I wanted to ask everybody that's been asked to us a lot. Since these posters keep falling down, we're going to eventually replace them, I think. And so we wanted to ask you at home. So since so many of you have been asking so many people have asked online which posters should go up there, are asking us to pick that. But I want you guys to tell us which posters should go up there. So tell us in the comments below or tweet at us. Which 2 posters are we going to go buy to fill up behind the guests, behind me? That'll live there probably for a few months because we're lazy to do it every week. Okay. But pick your favorites too, the funniest, weirdest, or the most requested. We're going to go buy them and you'll see them in an upcoming show. So check that out. Go tell us right away. All right, quick rule reminder. You guys know how the show works. I'm basing it on your arguments. Passion, creativity, facts, all that stuff. It's not my opinion. Even though a lot of people on YouTube think it is, it's not. I'm listening. I'm taking notes. I want to know what the best argument is. So make sure you knock each other down in nice, fun ways, and we'll see who makes the best fight. All right, let's do this!
Now let's do this! There's This is where we fight! Fight!
Wow. Round 1. Now, this was breaking news because we didn't think we'd get this until early this week, but we got it this weekend. So we got to discuss it. Batman v Superman. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be by it there. I hate that title. It's not a legal battle. It's a comic book battle. Put the damn S in there. It's versus, okay? Aside from that, finally got a good taste. Aside from that Comic-Con tease, we finally got to see an official teaser of this movie. We got to see Ben Affleck as Batman. What do we guys think? Fight number 1, Batman v Superman trailer. Love it or hate it, and we're starting with you, Hal. What'd you think?
Oh, I wanted to love it, but I hate it. I have to disagree right off the bat. You misspoke. We did not get a good taste. We got like 0 taste. We got basically what we got at Comic-Con. Oh, so you're telling me that Batman is in the movie and Superman is in the movie and the movie's called Batman v Superman? That's what we knew already. And it was so dreary looking, joyless, just everything we already knew. It gave us nothing new. Just voiceover, shots of the city, and the 2 dudes who we knew were in it. Like, give us something more.
It did tell us that Batman and Superman are in it. That is true.
Yes.
Jason, what did you think of the trailer?
I liked it. I think it gave us a little bit more. We got to see our first shot of Batman in the actual Batman suit walking out of the rain. He looked badass because that was my biggest concern about this trailer was, can Ben Affleck as Batman be a badass? We got to hear him. We got to see him be in some sweet armor. And also, they're recreating the battle from The Dark Knight Returns. And it's not the same footage from Comic-Con. They shot that exactly for Comic-Con. This is brand new footage. And we don't get the gravelly Batman voice. We get something new. We get something different. Batman is a badass in this trailer, and I loved it.
It's the same in as much as it's a square off. We got
All
the
right.
same kind of square
Let
off.
Trisha get her stake in, then we can Royal Rumble. Trisha, what did you think?
I didn't like it at all. I think that there's certain things that are necessary to make a good trailer. Namely, it needs to make you excited to watch the movie more so than you were before you saw the trailer, and it needs to tell you a little bit about plot, character, and tone. I already knew that I wanted to see Batman v Superman before I saw this trailer because it's Batman and it's Superman. I watched this trailer and I didn't want to see it any more than I did before because it told me, like Hal said, exactly that. It's Batman and it's Superman. So as far as telling us plot, we got nothing. As far as telling us characters, we got no new characters. And as far as telling us tone, it just was very, very dark. So we know it's going to be serious. It's so dark. I feel like you need to wear your night vision goggles just for the tone of that. But really, it gave us nothing to get excited about other than what we already
All right,
knew.
hold on. Yeah, Jason,
this is very much,
as the excited one, did it make you excited?
Yeah, it totally did because again, like I said, I got to see Batman and it looks like comic book Batman, which we've never seen on screen before. We have never seen Batman in the comic book Batman costume. This is the Frank Miller
What about
costume.
1960s Batman?
That wasn't the comic book costume. They changed it for that show.
Well,
nerd bomb. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. If there's any place to drop nerd bombs, it's right here. But Trish, I'll disagree. I would say the tone was really telling and disappointing because it's kind of a carryover from Man of Steel, in as much as that was a way too dark and hopeless a Superman story, and this Superman looked dark and hopeless in this movie. Superman is a beacon of light.
But isn't
The joy, the hope on the hill. That's Superman. He looks like, oh gosh, man, take some Paxil.
There's a lot of different ways to do dark, though. I mean, is it Man of Steel dark, or is it like The Dark Knight dark? What kind of dark is it? We don't know. We just know that it's going to be serious.
And we don't know because it's also a teaser and this movie is a year away. But the thing I loved is that there are a lot of little nods to the comic books in there because there is a shot in that trailer of Superman lifting up a car. And it looks like they're homaging the Action Comics #1 cover, the very first appearance of Superman. So they're looking at the comic books. Again, these images are from the comic books. They're looking at that source material.
Well, it needs to appeal to more people than the comic books because these comic book movies are engineered to hopefully worldwide make $1 billion.
But it's always a good start if they look at the source material.
I mean, yeah, you want something that's true to the source material, but you also want some nuggets that are going to get me excited. I go back to the Avengers Age of Ultron teasers. Man, all the destruction there, I was like, what is happening? Are Avengers fighting each other? Hulkbuster armor?
Have no strings.
Oh, yeah. but chilling. Andy, you just made the hair on the back of my arm stand up.
Our viewers.
But again, when did we see that teaser? Like, was it 6 months, 7 months out?
Dan Murrell, you're going to tell us, I'm sure, when we saw that.
When we saw
teaser.
like how much the distance. But like this movie is a year away, and too many trailers show too much. Like the Age of Ultron, all their trailers revealed the whole movie. Like I feel like I've seen that movie and I haven't even seen it. I still don't know what's going on in this movie. Besides, we know they're gonna fight. Yeah, and they showed us the fight, but this is a teaser.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'll agree.
But you need to know it's going to taste good before you want to buy the whole meal.
Exactly.
So why do you think it didn't do that?
Because I think that we have nothing to taste. I mean, the only smidgen of plot that it gave us is that, normies are afraid of people that are different than them, which is basically every superhero movie plot ever. So it's not giving us anything extra. Like Hal said, we don't really have any extra character besides Batman and Superman. And I mean, you mentioned that we finally get to see Ben Affleck as Batman. We get to see this much.
That's
I mean,
every
I
Batman
know,
ever, though.
Right, but I know.
And that's Ant-Man as well.
I know that this much of pretty much anybody's face is going to make a good Batman. So that's not telling me anything new. I know that already. Show me Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne in a social situation, and then I can tell you if I think he's a good Bruce Wayne or a good Batman or not. But I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that.
Dan?
Hi, by the way.
Hi,
Dan.
Good to see you all.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't introduce you, did I?
Boy, what a difference a week makes from champ to forgotten and a week flat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the worst host ever on Fact Checking Couch. It's Dan Murrell, undisputed
The champ.
champion.
Hi.
Dan.
Ice Saddle, correcting us as he always does and correcting me.
I feel like everybody knows Dan.
I know, right? I'm always over here. So
Undefeated
I'm
champ.
just going to jump right into it. So Age of Ultron teaser came out on October 22nd, which is about 6.5 months before the movie.
6.5 months, okay.
We are a little more than 11 months away from Batman v Superman. So, there is a bigger lead time between Age of Ultron and this movie as far as teasers go.
Got it. And welcome to the show, Dan.
Hi, thank you.
Hope you're enjoying it so far.
Oh, I'm having a blast. I wish I could do this all day, every day.
Welcome to the party, pal.
So what do we say? There's 4 extra months between those. Are they going to come up with a plot and a whole cast of characters in 4 months that they don't have right now?
Well, I mean, did you want the teaser to give the whole movie away? Did
No,
you really
but I wanted to give me an idea of what the movie is that I will see.
I still think like this again. We're 11 months away from this movie. I don't think they've even finished half of it. Like that's the reason why we can't. Like there's not. Well, what do you want? It's a teaser.
You know what I want the
that's the
teaser
case,
to
I'm
do?
scared.
I want the teaser to get me a little bit more geeked, a little bit more hyped.
How can you
Yeah.
not be more geeked by the end scene from The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller being in that trailer? We're gonna see it in live. Frank Miller's ending to the greatest Batman story of all time is going to be in this movie.
Yeah, but we knew that Batman and Superman were going to square off already. Throw me a bone, Zack Snyder.
That's a big geek bone.
It's a big geek bone, but it's
Let's
a big
not get
geek
dirty.
bone that we got from the title already.
I went to 7-Eleven to get like a big old cherry Slurpee, but I ended up with a big old Slurpee cup full of nothing.
Yeah.
I think you need to go to a different 7-Eleven.
I mean, the machine was broken.
All right, so let's give me your final thought here on this thing. So overall, you're too dark. You're saying
It's too dark in tone, and it only gave us what we knew was coming.
Trisha, give me your take.
I would say that there are 4 things necessary to make a good trailer in my mind. It makes me want to watch the movie more than before I had seen the trailer, and it shows me plot, character, and tone. And out of those 4, this trailer gave me 1 of those, which is a 25%, which isn't even close to an F. 60% or less is an F, so it's definitely a big F-bomb for me.
Jason.
I think as the comic book fan, which I think I am more so of anybody else in this panel, getting to see these moments that I've read for years that are going to be in this movie is exciting. And getting to see that Batman suit, which we only saw still on a display in San Diego Comic-Con, actually moving. Batman looks badass in this. And they're sticking to the source material, unlike some other, Ant-Man, which is nothing like the source material.
Okay, this is a fascinating fight, and I think it's a worthy one because we all want this movie to succeed.
Yes.
Correct?
Oh, yeah.
And in
Yes.
fact, I don't like this question, love it or hate it. Let's not be so mean against it. Did it get us excited is what the question. I'm adjusting, and I think you all have been making that argument. Did it get us excited? I think you all made some valid points. I think you do make the dark argument strongly. It's a lot of the same dark things we've seen with Man of Steel. I think we wanted Superman to be a little bit more joyful, as you've said. You make a good point. It's a teaser. It's pleading to the comic fans, and we want to save some stuff. But I'm ultimately siding with Trisha just because I feel like you make a good point of if we're going to drop a teaser trailer, give us some pieces that are going to get us excited of plot, the tone, and characters. And we really only saw the exact same teasers we've seen already.
Nothing. I want it.
I think your argument is the strongest. And I think it's strongest because this movie is getting so divisive, fans so divisive. Like, you got to plant a flag and be strong. Like, here's our... Are you excited now? And it didn't happen. So Trisha gets the point.
Woo!
Congrats.
All right.
Nice nibbles.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I want a trailer to nibble on, please.
Tasty morsel.
Tasty morsel. All right, round 2. Celebration. Star Wars Celebration was the big news this week. Obviously, Zack Snyder swooped in and tried to steal some thunder. Kudos. I wonder if that leak was on purpose because it got them talking even earlier. Who knows? But I don't support leaked trailers. Guys, come on. Don't you want to watch it in the way it's supposed to?
HD.
On your phone and some theater weird.
The only leaks I support happen in the bathroom.
Noted. Now, let's talk about the real news that happened this week. J.J. Abrams' Kathleen Kennedy premiered a brand new Star Wars Force Awakens teaser. Fans on the internet have gone crazy. I think, let's admit it, we all went crazy. We all liked this trailer.
It was awesome.
Teaser.
So
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's so good.
It legit got me more excited for the movie.
So, that said, we're not going to fight over whether we liked it, because they all liked it. We all liked it. But let's talk about how we liked it. What was the best moment? Why was this teaser so unanimously successful? What was the best teaser moment? And we're going to start with you this time, Jason.
The best moment for me had to go for who was my favorite character in the entire Star Wars trilogy. And I have to go with the original protagonist from the original trilogy, and that's Luke Skywalker. And there is a moment where we see R2-D2, the unsung hero of all the Star Wars movies. He's in all 6 of them, and a robotic hand reaches out and touches R2. It's like, hello, old friend, I'm back.
The Terminator?
It could be the Terminator. We don't know, but like, we know that one hero in our entire Star Wars trilogy has a robotic hand, and that's Luke Skywalker. He was the basis for the hero's journey of Star Wars, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey that Star Wars is based on. The Star Wars movies are more his story, even more so than Anakin. I don't care what George Lucas says that it's about Anakin. It's about Luke. And the fact that we get to see a tease of Luke, and he's on maybe on Mustafar, it's a lava planet. We get to see our moment with our protagonist from Star Wars, and there's a little bit of mystery. We don't know what's going on. What's going on there? It's a little bit intriguing. Get to see an old friend. Great moment.
It was a good moment, and I asked a lot of questions. Trisha, what was your favorite moment?
I agreed with Jason. That's a very good moment. But I would say that the best moment of the trailer, because it's the most important moment of the trailer, is in the very beginning when we get that beautiful panoramic shot, and then we see that huge crash Star Destroyer just epically sitting there, and it makes you wonder what the hell took that down. So we pan across, we have a visually stunning shot, and then this image that just blows us away. And I think when you show people the trailer, that's the moment of the trailer that you're like, yeah, look at this. It's the moment that makes people wake up, get in the right mindset, and think, oh, this is going to be good. And it puts you in the right mindset to digest the entire rest of the trailer. We get a couple notes of John Williams, composer, in there. I mean, it just... For me, that's the moment that got me ready for this trailer.
Set the tone.
Absolutely.
Great. Hal, what was your moment?
Hey, a couple of solid moments over there, but you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you're not saying it was Han and Chewie, the best damn moment in that trailer. That was the money. That was the moment that said, okay, we are returning to what we love. Yes, we knew it was going to have more of a tone of the Western, like the first one. There's going to be action adventure. But when we saw Han and Chewie come into the frame and say, we're home, that was saying to the Star Wars fans, forget the desolate, dark place that we were in before, the hopeless place of the prequels. We are returning to what you love. Have confidence. We're taking care of you.
I gotta say though, I've been betrayed by a silver foxed Harrison Ford before by returning to an old franchise, and so I'm a little leery. And your moment as well, It seems like I love it. It's a great image, but
so cool.
But it is something that we knew. Like we know the Rebels took down the Empire, and it seems like a great shot for the Star Wars Battlefront video game that we know is coming. But like mine is very much a story moment. Like we're home. Like yes, that's a great moment. It's probably a moment that they made exactly for the trailer. Same with yours. But like mine is like it's mysterious. And you're just like, what's going on there? What's happening to our protagonists? Where are they? And why is Luke showing his robot hand and maybe being a little bit more like Darth Vader, whose helmet we see in this trailer.
We don't even know for sure that it is Luke, by the way.
And that's what makes it mysterious.
Don't know.
And it's so mysterious that it's part of this montage of images to get us questioning and excited. But there's mystery to that final shot as well, because, man, what are Han and Chewie so excited to see? Why are they happy and home? Did the Millennium Falcon get destroyed and now it's refurbished? Like, what?
See, I would disagree. I think that the Han and Chewie moment is purely there for nostalgia. It's fanfare. It's amazing fanfare for any Star Wars fan. But if you're someone who's new coming into this sci-fi fantasy world for the first time, you probably, as sad as it is to say, you don't know who that old guy is. Like, it's just kind of like,
it's true, really.
Okay, that's not the moment that will make the trailer for you. If you're a new person coming in, the moment that will make the trailer, I would say, is the Crash Star Destroyer, because what the hell is that huge thing? What took it down? And for the Star Wars fans in there, it gets them too, because it's giving us a look at the state of things after the Battle of Endor. It's giving us that mystery for that too.
I'm going to stop you right there. If they don't know who Han and Chewie is, they don't know what a Crash Star Destroyer is.
No, but they know what a huge Crash spaceship looks like.
And I'm going to go on my moment. There's a voiceover that we hear. I have it. So that he's saying Luke Skywalker. It's Luke Skywalker saying, I have it. The hand reaches out. Kind of 75% confirming that's our protagonist.
Kind of 75%. And also, I will say, they are trying to get the Star Wars is a worldwide phenomenon.
But Star Wars fans are going to see this no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's the thing. It's such a phenomenon, and they are assuring people that we're back to the franchise you love. When Han and Chewie walk in, that is the moment that seals the deal. The first teaser was a lot of fun. There was some really cool action images. We got to see the Millennium Falcon again. We got to see some of the new stuff. But just remember when I was watching that panel and Oscar Isaac and John Boyega were out there, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Are the old guys there? When the old guys came out, that's when the buzz and the excitement entered the room. And same thing, that's telling everyone you are safe in our hands. Don't worry, JJ is going to take care of you on this one.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love some good fan service, but I think for mass appeal, I don't know that shot at the end of the trailer did it.
It's not fan service. It's giving us what this franchise is again.
All right, last argument for each quickly to help me make a decision. But also, you said, and I maybe bring it up in yours, but like, is this Crystal Skull Harrison Ford? Did we feel like that was coming out of it? Go ahead, you can start.
No, because Crystal Skull Harrison Ford was way too gimmicky, and plus it had Shia LaBeouf. We don't have Shia LaBeouf in this one. We're not going to get LaBeoufed. It's Harrison Ford and Chewbacca playing these classic characters, and it was like a direct message to us. Like, everything in that trailer built up to that moment when they came out and said, you guys, you're being taken care of. And that's like, yes, that's the fist pump moment.
Jason,
I think mine sets up the mystery of the story. What has happened to these characters? Where are they? What are they doing? How? And also, too, my moment has the first appearance of R2-D2 in this new trilogy, who, like, again, is pretty important. Because especially if you look at the Star Wars movies, they're all from the viewpoint of the droids. They're in all 6 movies. They're one of the few characters that are in all 6 movies, and now they're going to be in the new ones as well. And it's our first shot at R2. And again, it's our protagonist. It's our Jedi hero. What has happened? He's now a Jedi Knight. How has his life progressed?
Trisha, your last thought.
My last thought is, when you're watching the trailer and you get this beautiful visual in the beginning, the moment that makes you say, holy mother of a Jedi, and jump out of your seat is that Crash Star Destroyer in the beginning. And whether it's because you know it's a Star Destroyer or because you just know it's a huge freaking spaceship, it's an awesome moment universally. It's not appealing to a niche audience, and it's not vaguely kind of 75% a thing that we want to see. It is.
Tough. I think all 3 of these moments were great, and I think what's exciting is we all win because it clearly was filled with exciting moments that made us excited about what we want to see, which I think the Batman Superman trailer lacked. To show my cards on that one too. But I think on this one it's tough. Everyone's talking about fan service. I think all 3 of these are fan service.
True, yeah.
But there was only one fan service that I think did say to everyone, we're home, we're back, we're doing it back to the roots. It's got to be Hal's argument for Han and Chewie. So Hal gets
Bravo,
the point.
Hal. Bravo.
You climbed that crystal skull hill.
I mean,
He's
that,
excited too. He doesn't look like.
Yeah,
He didn't look excited in his old
And the
age.
biggest mystery of all, where'd he get that leather jacket? What happened to the vest?
Makes
that
sense.
was an amazing moment in that trailer.
And we were on record in Screen Junkies Show. We were worried about them coming back. I remember when we did that
Yeah.
episode a while back.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's something worked. Dan, you have something to clean up?
Couple of things. First of all, the last time we had to answer the question, where did he get that leather jacket, was X-Men Origins Wolverine. So let's forget where he got that. Anakin Skywalker briefly also had a robotic hand. Let's hope that's not a flashback. Harrison Ford Silver
Was
Fox.
on a fiery planet too.
It was.
Ah.
Harrison Ford Silver Fox, 72 years old.
Ah.
And also, Jason, you mentioned the I Have It speech when he puts his hand on R2. There's actually some controversy. We've heard it. People saying, my father has it, and they're thinking that that means that Darth Vader could still be alive. That speech is actually a
Return of
pull
Jedi.
from Return of the Jedi, and I think people are, as they do, overanalyzing things a little bit. And
Nah.
So,
Or
but
it
that's,
could
you know,
be
it could
still
be.
alive.
It could be. But
Zombie
for-
Vader.
I'd like to add the favorite moment for me was that BB-8 on stage. Did
Yes.
we all see that robot rolling
celebration
around?
panel.
That's pretty
Yep.
At the
badass.
celebration panel, that robot was literally rolling around. I don't know how they
It's
did
the
it.
toy of Christmas.
It made me feel like a kid again. I
Yeah.
am so impressed they are able to still do that. So kudos to that team. Round 3.
Yeah.
So Star Wars movies are being released to a new generation of fans, some of whom have never seen Star Wars, as weird as that is, or think that, who is that old guy? It's depressing.
So
sadly.
sad.
I'm sure they're out there.
So sad.
Please educate yourself if you're watching. You're like, who's the old guy they're talking about in Star Wars? Please go watch them. Trust us. The 4, 5, and 6 are good. Well, we're going to talk about which ones are good.
Yep.
What is the best? This is coming from Mike Romero on Twitter. Thank you, Mike. What's the best order to watch Star Wars with someone who hasn't seen it? Now, to clarify, you can go with the release order, chronological order, machete order, which takes out Phantom Menace and goes in its own order, or mix up any way you want. But what if you're introducing it to a child, like I will be doing soon to my 2-year-old?
Yay.
What's the best way to do it? And so we'll start with you, Trisha.
Okay, great. So as someone who has introduced a lot of friends who, believe it or not, have never seen anything Star Wars to those movies, I'm going to go in release order. I think that there's a couple things that are really important here, namely your suspension of disbelief. When you're going into fantasy sci-fi, it's important that you believe this world is real. And if you are going with the original trilogy first, then your effects and your action all kind of ramp up to modern day technology as you're going. And I really feel like that helps to keep people believing that this world is real. I also think that when they were writing the prequels and making the prequels in general, there was an assumption that you already have the background information that you get in the original trilogy. So when you're watching that, if you do want to pick up on those nuances, then you do need to have already seen the original trilogy. So I think it's important to watch for that note. I would also say that I don't think anyone would argue that 4, 5, and 6 are the better trilogy than 1, 2, and 3. So you want to hook them in with the best ones first. You don't know that they're going to love Star Wars as much as you love Star Wars. So if you get them with the best movies, I think they're more likely to watch all 6 films. And if you're going to go in a different order and kind of like machete order or something else, I feel like there's a good possibility that people may forget where they left off. So machete order, for example, if you're going to take a break between 5 and 6 and watch 2 very long movies, and you're new to this universe, how do you remember where you left off? I don't know. I think release date is the best way to go.
Go in order. Okay, Hal, what's your pick?
Can I have permission to cut through the BS and tell it like it is?
Always. We wouldn't expect
boy.
it any other way.
4, 5, 6, stop. Okay? Do not watch the prequels. What's the point? Prequels? What comes to mind? What is evoked when you hear the word prequels? I'll tell you. Garbage. It's turned the word prequels into a dirty word. Do you want to see the council meetings, or do you want to see Jar Jar, or do you want to see the racist weird characters that are weird,
Giovanni.
that are oddly similar to weird human beings? You don't want to see any of that. It's junk. Oh, or do you want to see the worst storyline in Star Wars history, the love story? But I mean, it's so poorly done, the love story between Anakin and Princess Amidala. It's, oh my God, the worst. So just skip them. Do yourself a favor. Keep the majesty and keep the franchise special. Then you'll be more than ready to enjoy episode 7.
Jason, what's your stance?
Mine is the machete order, which is this blog order that was introduced.
What does Danny Trejo have to do with
Star
Star Wars?
Nothing, but he's going to space soon. You go A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi. So we skip episode
4, 5, 2, 3, 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
No Phantom Menace.
No Phantom Menace because everyone agrees that movie is bad. But
Okay, you're
let me
1/3
speak.
of the way
Let me
there,
finish.
baby.
Let me finish, Hal. Let me finish. So take a damn line.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
Let me actually start my answer. Thank you. Okay. I feel you cannot ignore the prequels, especially introducing somebody new to the Star Wars. It's a Star Wars saga. It's become more than a Star Wars trilogy. What this does is it keeps both the surprises. For release order, when you go 4, 5, and 6, if you get to 1, I think you're going to knock out a lot of people because 1 is so universally hated. But with 2, we get to see the Clone Wars. With 3, we get to see that amazing Mustafar fight between, like, the lightsaber battles in the prequel trilogy are amazing. And in the original trilogy, they talk about the Jedi being these amazing figures all the time. And by doing 2 and 3, we get to see the Jedi being these amazing, amazing fighters. And also, if you do 2, 3 after episode Empire Strikes Back, what happens is that you put Luke and Anakin on equal footing into Return of the Jedi. It changes your perspective of Vader in Return of the Jedi, and it actually helps set up why he would turn to the good side. Whereas if you just watch the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, at the very end for Darth to kind of just suddenly turn, you're just like, well, wait a minute. He was shooting the guy in 4, and what? Why? But you get to learn a little bit about who he is, and plus, not seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi just is such a travesty because Alec Guinness, great as Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's kind of mistrusty. He lies to Luke left and right. Like, he lies about Luke's father, he lies about his sister. At least in the prequels, you get to see that Obi-Wan Kenobi is this great Jedi Knight.
Ewan McGregor's a fantastic Obi-Wan Kenobi, and just to add reasons why we should have the prequels in this viewing order and not cut them out altogether, that's like saying there should never be a director's cut of anything released. I mean, there are people who are going to want to see that extended footage. There are certainly people who are going to say, that's too much for me, or I don't think this is as good as the rest. But for people that want to saturate themselves in that universe, they want as much of that universe as they can get. So if you have all this extra hours of movie and backstory, I think it's important to have that option and not just say eliminate them.
I don't want to go to part of the universe that's going to ruin it for me, okay? Keep Star Wars magical. Keep it amazing. Watch those first 3, and then 4, 5, 6, the first movies that were ever released in the Star Wars
numbers
universe.
get confusing, yeah.
Yes. And then go to 7, and you are going to be perfectly fine. There is so much that drags it down and that makes Star Wars what the prequels really do. They make Star Wars pedestrian. They make it less special. And if you watch 4, 5, 6, it retains that magic because it was a movie in the 70s and 80s that got children excited, but also had an aura about it. And the other movies, the prequels, it makes me sick to say that word prequels because it induces vomiting.
I'm going to agree with Jason. There are redeeming things about the prequels, if not the entire. I mean, yes.
And the Clone Troopers got plenty of children excited. Like seeing the Clone Wars in Episode 2. Like I know a lot of kids that like the Clone Troopers better than the Stormtroopers.
I think it's important to have in there as an option. I don't think we should completely ignore that they exist. Like I said, if you're someone who's going to watch 4, 5, 6, 7, and then at that point you're like, I need more, then you have the prequels for that.
The prequels are junk. Why subject yourself to that? Okay? Watch 4, 5, 6. You're good to go.
I think the prequels add a new layer, especially in machete order with 4, 5, 2, 3. It adds a new layer.
What part?
The
Senate meetings? The Senate meetings?
No, not the Senate meetings. I'm talking about Anakin. I'm talking about letting us see
but how many,
more about Darth Vader.
What's the total time on screen for those Senate meetings? Is it a good time?
I mean, I'm not a Star Wars fact checker,
What's the total time on screen for Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan? Quite a bit.
What's the total time on fact of Ewoks?
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar's barely in.
You
Jar
don't
Jar's
even say
barely
anything.
in
Your
my
whole
order. We're just saying
argument is
words.
just Jar Jar.
AT-AT. Like we're just yelling words.
You just said Ewoks. And come on, Anakin Skywalker trying to be romantic with Amidala. Oh,
I
wow.
don't think either.
Oh, it's like not only are they not good, they're painfully bad.
I don't think
It's
I want to
painfully
make
bad in a New
I want
Hope.
to hold on. I'm going to grab the answers. I want final points.
Okay.
You've made a very strong point that they're bad. Why is their versions worse than that? Is what I need to hear you do next. And then sell me one more time as we do our closings here on why your order is the best. And let's start with you, Jason.
Sure. The Machete Order makes Star Wars like a space opera fairy tale, which is what it is. It lets us take the hero's journey of Luke, and then it backs up, which people I don't think are getting confused out of order. People watch out of continuity time movies all the time, like Pulp Fiction, and nobody gets lost. So I don't think moving the movies out of order will make any difference. And it gives us a layer of Anakin's hero's journey, his dark hero's journey, and it makes that fight in Return of the Jedi, the ending of the Star Wars saga, until we make Episode 7, more personal and more epic because it's a father, and we get to see how far this father went to just throw his life away against his son, and we actually get to see the Jedi being cool with lightsabers because let's admit it, the lightsaber fights in the original trilogy aren't that great. They really aren't. They're dramatic, but in terms of fighting style, they're really not that
The
strong.
lightsaber battle in Empire is not that great.
I'm saying in terms of fighting style, it's not that strong.
All right, yeah.
Trisha, thoughts?
So, I think Jason actually helped me out there. I mean, my main points are the effects and the fighting style, which I think do get better naturally as we go through the year. So watching 4, 5, and 6 first leads you up to what is going to be just by the fact that the technology gets better in the prequels. So it doesn't ruin your suspension of disbelief. If you're new to sci-fi fantasy, that's especially important. I do think that you're going to forget what's going on between 5 and 6 if you're jamming 2 and 3 in there because the Star Wars universe has so much to it. Think about it. The first time you watched the trilogy, did you remember every single detail about what's going on in that universe? No, for a repeat viewer. I love Machete Order for a repeat viewer. But if it's the first time that you're watching it, I think you need to watch it in the order it was released. That's how the movies were made to be consumed. Phantom Menace was made assuming that people have seen 4, 5, and 6. If you want to pick up on those nuances, they're there.
Hal, final thought.
So, Trish, you also said watch 4, 5, 6, and then the second 3, so as not to turn the person off. You're going a step further and saying, let's take one of those stinkers out of the mix. And then you say, oh, but it shows us Darth Vader's journey. I would say what our imaginations could conjure is much better than the garbage that was rendered in those prequels. The prequels were terrible. Period. Why ruin the legacy of something that should have majesty? It has majesty without the prequels. It becomes pedestrian and ordinary with the prequels.
I think the more Star Wars, the better.
Okay. Wow. I have to rule. Heated discussion. That was a good one, I think. Yeah. There's a lot of choices there, and I think you all made some very valid points. Your Machete Order, for a hardcore fan, you made some amazing things about how the reveals will work. You make a very valid argument of why the prequels suck altogether. And you make a valid point that the technology and all those things factor in as you're rewatching. But I think, to me, the selling final piece that worked was a twofold. But it was, someone said, there's the option to watch or not, as well as the fact that you, I think, Trisha, as I'm saying, as I'm rolling this in your favor, you also said that the Machete's good for a repeat. And first-time fans, probably, I think you made a strong argument why, and I think while I might agree with you from a personal standpoint, she allows you to see the 3. If you want to see more, go for it. Trisha gets the point.
Woohoo!
And if you don't, I think hopefully in your order, though, you warn them these aren't as good, correct?
Oh, absolutely. But if you want to see more, it's there for you. And I mean, this is coming from someone who watches the Life Day special on a yearly basis. So I'm like, all Star Wars is great.
All right, round 4. We finally got to see a second trailer for Ant-Man this week. Let's not forget that also comes out later this summer. So we want to ask this question. What did we think of the new Ant-Man trailer? Thoughts? Did it get us excited? And we're going to start with you, Hal.
I really liked it. It was so much better than the first teaser trailer that we saw, because that one really felt generic. So they had a big job to do, because the first one, it was just voiceover, and it's like, it basically said with great power comes great responsibility. But this one, it got me excited. There was cool action. It described how his powers work. Corey Stoll was an excellent villain, and it also had humor in several instances. That Thomas the Tank Engine scene, wow, that was action-packed and funny. The editing in that scene, going back and forth to make it action-packed, and then super funny when you pull away and see that wide shot of the kids' train being derailed. Very entertaining. It did the job of a trailer. It got me more excited for the movie.
Jason, what were your thoughts?
I'm in the middle. I am so apathetic about this trailer that I just don't care, because I'm a comic book fan and I don't even care about Ant-Man. Why are we making a movie about Ant-Man? This trailer, you talked about tone. I felt there was no tone in this movie. The tone was, this is a CGI guy in a CGI suit in front of a CGI background just hitting each other. And they kept cutting back to that shot over and over. Oh, here's a new CGI guy in a CGI background fighting a CGI guy in a CGI suit. Oh, more CGI. Oh, say there's some more CGI. Oh, we like CGI. Cool. I don't remember any other joke in that trailer besides the Thomas Tank Engine. I got no respect of like how Corey Stoll is even gonna be, besides like he's just generic bad guy. And you know, this like, there's nothing here. Like, who cares about Ant-Man? I don't care about Ant-Man, and I don't care about this trailer.
So you want more practical effects like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style?
Just
That'd be so cool.
something.
Honey, I Shrunk the
Trisha, what's your
Superhero.
stance?
That'd be so cool. I really didn't like it. I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but for a lot of the reasons that Jason mentioned, actually, a lot of the CGI, lack of practical effects, and there were so many ants. And I will admit, I have not read the Ant-Man comic, so I don't know
Nobody
how much
has.
of that is taken from source and how much is not. But it just looked so cheesy to me, and I don't know what the tone is that they're going with. Yes, there were some funny moments, but I mean, is this going to be a rom-com? Is this going to take itself seriously? Like, there's also a lot of epic action fight scenes, and it almost reminded me of a cartoon, but then it tries to get serious with his daughter, and just where are we going with this? I have no idea what this movie's going to be, and the plethora of bad CGI ants was a turnoff for me.
Oh man, I love seeing those ants, those creepy crawly ants, him running with those ants. That gave you so much perspective. That was one of the awesome things about this trailer. You got to see why he's called Ant-Man. He's running with these ants
'Cause he
through
hangs
this
with
anthill.
ants.
Yeah, that was very
do
cool.
we really care about ants?
I
Do
mean,
we really?
You could have said, did we care about Guardians of the Galaxy before last summer? Most people did not. That was more of a die-hard comic book as well. And guess what? I am Groot. So,
But I mean, is this movie taking itself
you were saying
seriously or
what
not?
Yes, it is taking itself seriously with the wry tone. You could say, is Iron Man taking himself seriously? Because Robert Downey Jr. jokes. Yeah, Iron Man kicked off the Marvel Universe.
but
And
So
I like this Marvel movie better when it was called Iron Man and starred Robert Downey Jr.
Well, and here's what I would
Hey,
say to that.
borrow from the best, man.
In Iron
Borrow
Man,
from the best.
do you see 4 ants spin a penny? Does that ever happen in real life?
That
Like,
was-
it's so fantastical that I'm like, unless these are ants that have been soaked in
She
some
just
kind of
said,
mutant
does
goo.
does superhero stuff happen in real life?
Well, because
we're in the Marvel universe.
Of course we're in the Marvel
And
universe.
that's why no matter
But-
what they do with this movie, it's going to make money. They could have had Robert Downey Jr. reading a phone book for 2 hours, put the Marvel
It
logo on
is.
it, and it would make money. Why do we care about Ant-Man?
But there are certain rules that take place in the superhero universe. So
Yes.
if I'm going to see ants that are doing something completely fantastical like that, I need to know why. Did they step in some kind of toxic goo that made them super ants,
he controls them
That-
with his mind. That's part of his power.
That's
so he
such
can
a,
control them to spin
Correct.
pennies?
Yeah, and that's such
Whatever.
a tiny thing to key in on. It's like,
It's
come
just one
on, are
example.
Infinity
We
Stones
correct us, Dan.
real?
Ant-Man's powers, right? He can
Yes.
shrink down and he can talk to insects.
Yep.
That's correct. Ant-Man can
Yes.
control an army of ants at will to do his bidding.
There you go, penny spun.
Like Big Hero 6 and all those
Okay.
little,
Yeah,
weird...
and,
Let me
and,
just-
and I will say, Jason, you're saying the Thomas the Tank Engine was the only instance of humor. What about Paul Rudd, where he's like, okay, I won't break and enter anymore. What do you need me to do? Break and enter. Okay, it
Well, let
figures.
me pull-
That's some great Paul Rudd timing.
Let me pull out. They did the Ant-Man, yeah, I'm called Ant-Man joke again that they did in the first trailer in a different scene. So the yeah, I'm called Ant-Man joke is going to be in multiple scenes in this movie?
Maybe, maybe not. What's in a trailer, you know full well what's in a trailer doesn't always end up in the final film.
I was excited for this movie when it was Edgar Wright, but not now.
And what do we really know
I
about
don't
Yellow
care.
Jacket from this trailer? What do we know besides, like, he looks like a big cartoon character villain? Do we know any of the plot? Do we know what the obstacle actually is? Again, correct me if this is coming from a specific source material it's assumed we've read the comics, so we know what the backstory to Yellow Jacket is, but I don't know who that is, besides he has plasma blasters and he's yellow in CGI.
Marvel
That
is
looks
so
really cool.
Marvel is so apathetic about this movie that they completely changed it. Yellow Jacket is Hank Pym. Hank Pym is Ant-Man, and they went so apathetic with it that they were like, oh, let's make it the second Ant-Man because we just don't
I would
care.
argue that it's not apathetic, that it's for the sake of the story.
The founding Avenger, Hank Pym, let's not make him Ant-Man.
Okay, in the comic books, who created Ultron?
Hank Pym.
Yeah, and in the Marvel Universe, who created Ultron?
Well, I haven't seen that movie yet.
Oh, you know full well who created Ultron. Sometimes you have to do things for the sake of the cinematic universe, and it's simply doing that. I want to hear where you stand on after you see Ultron.
Well, it would have been the same thing if you made Iron Man and they made the first Iron Man movie and they made him Rhodey. Rhodey was Iron Man. Like, would we have liked that? That's just
silly.
Like,
that's not that.
But
far.
they did it in the comic books, and they're doing it here. That's why, like, Marvel doesn't even care about this movie.
Listen,
they're just
this,
slamming it out.
Not true. This trailer had one major job to do, to get us more excited, because that teaser, the first one, was a snooze, and mission accomplished. It showed some cool action that he can break a guy's neck just by running around like that. Oh man! And the female protagonist in this movie, like, she was super badass. This trailer did its job.
I think it looked like something you'd see on Saturday morning on Cartoon Network.
I think nobody's going to be talking about this trailer next week. Nobody. Even if Superman, Batman hadn't come out, or Star Wars, nobody would talk about this trailer next week.
Well, they're not, because they're talking about Superman.
Yeah, but I'm saying even without those trailers.
This is not the marquee superhero movie, Ant-Man. Age of Ultron, Batman vs. Superman, those are the marquee movies. But Ant-Man is going to be a moneymaker for Marvel, and this got me more excited. Mission accomplished.
Last point.
It's Ant-Man. Who cares?
Non-point.
You are
point.
the apathetic person, yes. My thing is, I want to be, I'm always optimistic going into any superhero movie, and I want to really like it. And this trailer for me just did not make me super stoked to go to the theater. I felt like this is something I could sit at home and watch on Saturday morning cartoons like Ben 10 or like Max Steel. And I love those for Saturday morning cartoons, but is that what I expect out of a huge superhero blockbuster? No. I was disappointed. I was disappointed.
You're all about these ants, man.
Oh,
Man, this is tough for me.
I got ants in my
I'm
pants.
I'm tough on this argument. Wow. All right, I got to make a call because I want to move on to the next round, but I guess we're starting to repeat ourselves. Based on those arguments, I don't think you guys separated your arguments enough. I got your argument pretty clear, but I think you both made. I'm lumping you together just because you both made the same. I feel like you were on the same team, whether you want to or not. So whether you want that or not, I'm basing it. I think you both made better points as to why you weren't excited with the CGI and who cares and it didn't really tell us that much. And you, as a fan, are excited, but as the movie-going universe, they weren't. And I got to give them both points.
All right.
Cool.
I actually was excited, but I don't know. I don't think you didn't sell me enough, Hal. I'm sorry. I'll leave you next round. So Jason and Trish are both getting points that round, Dan, to clarify.
All right.
Copy that. Can I just say, I didn't have a chance to chime in the last round. Parts of that Star Wars round made my heart hurt. I just want to put that out there on the record.
Okay.
It was a really painful round for me to just watch.
Okay.
I never thought I'd hear in defense of Jar Jar Binks or in defense of the prequels.
Tough decision.
Feeling better
You
now,
have to
Time
argue
has
your
passed.
side fully.
I'm getting over it, but there was some really tough things to hear in that round.
It was a tough one to judge.
Yeah.
Round 5. All right, Warner Brothers' Wonder Woman movie lost its director, Michelle MacLaren, this week and hired a new one. I think we were all excited about Michelle MacLaren. She's done some awesome TV work, etc.
Yes.
But they did quickly replace her with Patty Jenkins, who was originally supposed to do Thor 2. She did Monster,
Right? She wrote and directed Monster.
Did she do TV as well?
She did
do some TV,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, quick
And
turnaround on the
Entourage.
director. I'm glad they're keeping a female in there. I feel like they need to with that movie. But with all this turnaround happening and the lead director leaving, does this make us worried about Wonder Woman? Should we be? And we're going to start with you, Jason.
No, I'm not worried about Wonder Woman because it's just way too far out to tell. Like, they haven't even shot a frame. We don't even know if there's a script. We haven't even seen this character on screen. So what can we even judge? Like, movies have turnover. Ant-Man went through a big turnover last year with Edgar Wright, and we just heard an argument for Ant-Man about the ants and such. Patty, what was her last name? Jenkins?
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins. Monster's a great film, and it has a strong female lead. And I believe, did Charlize Theron win for that movie, or she was nominated?
Yes, she
Yeah,
won
she
Best
She
Actress.
won for that movie. So obviously this director can direct a strong female performance, which is what a Wonder Woman movie needs. And and I think we're too far out. We don't even know a story synopsis. I'm not worried about this movie at all. Let's get worried about this movie when we actually see something. I'm not worried about it.
Trisha, where do you stand?
Yes, I am worried about it. I was really, really excited about McLaren coming in after having won 2 Emmys and Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones and The X-Files. I mean, she's already proven that she's really good in that nerd niche sci-fi fantasy formula, whereas I don't think Patty Jenkins has proved that. We know she can make a great serious movie, and I think you made a great point saying that she can direct a strong female protagonist, but we do not know that she's going to be able to balance the camp and the camp yet with the epicness that you need in something like that to get people to really buy into that universe without it seeming silly. I also know that McLaren was involved heavily in the writing process of Wonder Woman, and the whole creative differences thing that the studio is saying makes me worry that they don't know what the direction they're going with it now, which could hold us up and push the release date. I just think that right now internally it's probably a huge mess, and optimistically I do hope that Patty Jenkins can come in and do something about it, but am I worried? Absolutely.
Hal, where do you stand?
I'm not worried at all. In fact, it's probably the movie that I'm most confident about because all the other movies are doing such heavy lifting. There's so many characters that you're infusing and you have to tell the backstories of, and you have to make them all flow together. Suicide Squad, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, a lot of mouths to feed. A DC film that only has one character to take care of? Okay, that I can accept and maybe get on board with. You know what I mean? All the other movies, they're doing way too much too soon. A standalone Wonder Woman movie, not only am I not worried, I'm excited about it because it's giving us finally a female protagonist as well that's going to head her own movie. Marvel should have done it before with Black Widow, but DC is doing it before them with Wonder Woman, and that's very exciting.
And another reason too, like why all great points, like why I'm not worried about Wonder Woman is that Patty Jenkins was hired by Marvel to do a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
so Marvel
to do Thor.
trusted her.
She was
enough.
going to do a Thor movie.
Like, Marvel obviously thought that she could handle a superhero universe before.
Why did she leave? Or was
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
going to
I don't
say.
know. I
Why
don't know.
didn't she finish it? She was replaced with a male director.
Maybe creative director.
Dan's
I don't know.
looking
Difference,
it
yeah.
up.
But Marvel trusted her to do a superhero universe. So like that actually makes me more excited because Marvel signed off on her, and now DC was like, we should get that person that Marvel signed off on. That's a good idea.
This is the first.
Go ahead. What were you going to say, Trisha?
I was just going to say that they did not really approve of her and follow it through to fruition. For whatever reason, she was taken off the project, and that worries me as well.
But she was hired.
Originally,
Yeah.
but that doesn't matter if you don't actually get
No, I know.
to produce the final product.
But
What went wrong in that process that Patty Jenkins wasn't able to put her name on and finish that film? What happened there? Like I said, internally, it's got to
be
be
anything.
convoluted at this point, and it's going to push things back. And I'm to disagree with Hal in saying you're not worried because there's only one protagonist
Yeah.
here. This is the first time, like you said, that there is a female protagonist superhero film just about that coming out. I
Yes.
believe that deserves the extra time and attention, even though there is only one character. I don't think that we can
I'm
say,
not saying they should.
it's fine.
Yeah. Oh
it'll
no,
be
that's
okay.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying they should do a slapdash job on it. Or that's
And
fine
we
or
don't
something.
even know-
No,
we
they should take as much time as possible to finally craft
It
this
deserves
movie.
as good of a fighting chance as
and we
the
don't
others,
know-
no
Yes.
matter how convoluted their
I'm
plots
saying,
are.
as opposed to Batman vs Superman, we're not having 4 brand new
Well,
major characters.
let's be fair. We don't
introduced.
know who's in Wonder Woman. They could put Green Lantern in Wonder Woman and Aquaman in Wonder Woman. Yes, we don't know what the plot line is.
We know
in Wonder
nothing.
We
Woman,
don't know.
right?
That's true, but
I
a
think the
Wonder.
studio doesn't know either.
We also
Hold on, Dan. Do you have info
Well,
there?
it's always hard to get the.
You don't know the real truth? You
inside
don't have our
news.
emails?
But yeah, we don't. Unfortunately, it wasn't a Sony movie, so we don't know exactly what happened. But it would seem to be that there were some Marvel creative differences between Patty Jenkins and the tone of the movie, and that Marvel got a little nervous and decided to replace her. But everything that I've read also says it didn't sound like it was an acrimonious thing. And at the time when this came out, they said that Marvel's still keen to have them work on one of their future movies. I doubt that that's the case now,
No,
but
Yeah.
it sounded like the old creative differences.
Well, yeah, if she signed with the other team, she's
Yeah,
clearly
she's probably not going to be.
saving her
Right.
breath for the other one.
Yeah.
Hal, what were you gonna say?
The fact that Wonder Woman it's a standalone film that is huge compared to all these other movies. I mean, look at Suicide Squad. How many characters are they jamming into that? It's feeling, quite frankly, unwieldy. Every time a new character is introduced that's going to be in Dawn of Justice, it's like, really? Wow. So I feel like I'm taking an opposing point from both of you. I'm not only not worried about it, I'm excited about it. I think it's about time we had a great on-screen rendering of Wonder Woman. The DC is taking a huge chance in giving a woman a film to be the protagonist in, and yeah, I feel like it's in the best shape.
So you're saying that you agree that it's probably internally chaos right now, but you're okay with it because you think they'll be able to pick it back
Oh, I
up?
never
They're
said
directing.
that.
Because we're talking about the director turnover. They just fired someone. They hired someone else. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about characters and all that stuff. It sort of doesn't have anything to do with it because we don't know what characters are in the movie. We're talking about the director turnover.
It's a Wonder
Doesn't
Woman
make
film.
us worry.
Oh no, that happens all the time.
Okay.
We don't
Final
e-
point,
with,
Jason,
With
yeah.
all these creative differences, we don't even know. You're talking about the more time. We don't even know if they're going to push this release date back or if they're going to hold the release date.
I think they will now.
We don't know. We don't know. Patty Jenkins directed a protagonist, a strong female protagonist, to an Oscar. She can do it again. I'm not worried.
Final thoughts, Trish?
I think because McLaren was so heavily involved with the writing process up until now and with the creative, are we going to get some scenes that are McLaren's vision and then different scenes that are Jenkins? I'm worried that we're going to end up with a very, very convoluted final product that will be pushed back.
Dan, final thoughts before I roll
Just
here?
a quick note. As of now, Wonder Woman's release date, June 23rd, 2017. So we're a little over 2 years away from the scheduled release
coming up.
date of the movie.
Right.
Coming up, they should know what they're doing at this point.
That's a lot
All
more
right.
time than Ant-Man had.
Yes. Okay. I'm making a ruling here. I think this is a tough one, but I think you won me over, Trish, when you said this deserves the extra time. And you made a point where I was like, Jason was like, well, Marvel hired her, but they kind of didn't. They took her. They kicked her out of the.
didn't hire
her. So I think Trisha had the best points there. You get the point. I think it does deserve the respect. Let's make sure it's done right. And I do think you're right. It'd be nice if it's one character, but we just don't know if that's the case. But please, DC, make a movie with one character. Jeez, like we don't need 15 characters in every movie.
Good guy.
I want it to be good so badly.
We want all movies to be good,
Yeah.
right, guys?
That's
Yeah.
true.
We're not here to
That's
actually
true.
wish movies are bad. Round 6. They think that because we make this, that we're always trying to make a crap on the movies, but we like good movies. Round 6. Speaking of crap movies,
Yeah.
Terminator Genisys. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I just hate that title. Spell it right, guys. What's with all the spellings of these titles?
It's an original spelling.
Andy, you have so many Hollywood title beefs going on there.
I know. Taking on the title.
Title fights.
We have a second trailer for Terminator Genisys. Had lots of big reveals. Some might say spoilers. What did we think of the Genisys trailer? Do we think the Genisys trailer did well? Or did we hate it? Do we love it? All those things. Trisha, we're starting with you.
Okay, great. I'm going to get so much monkey poo slung in my direction for saying this, but I liked it.
Do it. Why?
Crap action, yay! Okay, I'm gonna go back to what I said before. Does it make me excited about the movie, and does it show me plot, character, and tone? These are things that I would say are necessary for a great trailer. So, does it show us plot? Yes, like you said, some people are gonna say into spoiler territory, but it definitely tells us plot. We know that John is going back to kill his mom. We got that.
Again.
As far as characters,
Wait, John's going back to kill his mom?
Yes.
did you not see it?
That is what's
Spoiler
happening.
alert.
But
That's a spoiler.
yeah, but I thought he was the
Sorry.
Terminator. Yeah, it's confusing to me.
Sorry, it's yeah, and so it does leave some to the imagination based on the fact that you're still confused. I don't think it gives away the entire plot, but it does tell us
Or
what's going
was it
on.
the Terminator pretending to be the T-1000 pretending to be John Connor?
Maybe, huh?
Was that actually John
Right.
Connor? Do we know? You're all looking at me like I'm stupid, but I thought because doesn't the T-1000 morph into whoever he wants?
Well, there you go.
Yes.
There's the twist. There's the conspiracy theory for you. Does it tell us about characters? Yes. We know we're getting John. We know
Lots
we're
of
getting Sarah.
characters.
We know we're getting, we know we're getting the Terminator. We know we're getting Reese. We've got that down. As far as the tone, we know we're getting a crap action movie. We see a lot of crazy, awesome action in this trailer. Does it make me stoked for it? Yes. On a personal level, I love Emilia Clarke. I think she's great. And hate me for saying it, but I love Arnold. I don't care how old he is. He is and forever will be the Terminator for me. So it makes me stoked when I see him back in action. And I want to see this movie. Does it make me want to see this movie? Yes, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. It's a story that's different from any Terminator we've seen before.
Great. Hal, what do you think?
I'm half in, half out with you. It was a garbage trailer. It told us everything that was going to happen. It told us that the robot, that John was like half human, half Terminator. It explained that in the trailer.
He says, "I'm a man," and he's like, "I'm more than a man, more than a machine."
Yes, it left no surprises for the film. That's the worst of trailers. You talked before about these checklist, what a trailer's supposed to be. I'll tell you what a trailer's not supposed to do. Show all of its cards. That's exactly what it did. It didn't just show its cards, it just spread out the entire deck, okay? But I'll tell you why. I'll still go see it. Because it could still be a big, dumb, fun robot chase movie. And I'll go see a big, dumb, fun robot chase movie. And by the way, that's all it's gonna be. We are counting this movie, 3 movies removed from a Terminator that was any good. The best we can hope for is a big, dumb, fun robot chase movie.
Which I think
That's
was
what it looks
T3.
like. No, I would say T2.
No,
T2
T2 was
so
was
great.
better than
Great.
a big dumb
T2 's
robot
so
movie.
good.
I'm saying
Oh,
T3
T3
was a dumb big
Oh.
robot chase movie.
I mean,
It
this
was what it
one,
was.
this one looks ridiculous.
Jason, thoughts?
I hated this trailer. I hate it so much. It feels like it just took my childhood and ripped it apart.
Get it
because
out.
I was
Get
sort
it
of,
out, yes.
I was sort of excited for this movie when we had young Arnold versus new Arnold. I was like, oh, that's intriguing. We've known for months that this movie was going to be a mess. I mean, how does Sarah Connor know who Kyle Reese is? And neither one of you brought up the most confusing point of this trailer. How does Sarah Connor know what her grown-up son looks like? This is a mess. It reveals who the main villain is. It's just a mess. This trailer is such a mess. I'm staying the hell away from this movie now. And I just my love of James Cameron just gets chipped away and chipped away and chipped away and just like,
Well, James Cameron's not doing this
no,
movie.
I know, but like my love of the Terminator franchise just is going more and more away, which was started by James Cameron.
Yeah.
I agree with one of your points and one of your points. It was a crap trailer that could still be a fun watch. But you are still excited about Schwarzenegger? Schwarzenegger wrestling
Hey.
with himself in that
Not
one
after
shot?
the trailer.
Schwarzenegger hasn't wrestled with himself like that since he debated about what to do when he found out he got his maid pregnant. You know? That was the most
man.
wrestling Schwarzenegger's
I
done with
think
himself.
Jason naturally.
Did you miss that I hated this movie? Did you miss
does.
Yeah,
that?
but you were excited about Schwarzenegger.
I said it when the first
He
trailer.
said he was
the
excited.
first
The
trailer.
He's on your
trailer.
camp.
Yeah.
I think Jason naturally, in giving his arguments, says that he's confused about a couple things, which I think inherently disproves Hal's argument that every answer is spelled out for us. If you're still confused about things going on with the plot, if we're still confused about who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, which I think revealing that John is a bad guy makes us question everything. Who's good and who's evil in this movie?
and the quality.
Don't get me
We
wrong.
don't know.
Don't get me wrong. This trailer was a crap show. Okay, this trailer put
here-
everything
so
in a
here, I
bowl
want-
and flung it against
One
the
more
wall.
point per each. We'll get back to you, let us, Trish, but go ahead. Give me your point of why it was garbage. And then Jason will give us his reason.
Oh, it showed every possible surprise in the movie, and it jammed so many things in there. There was so much craziness happening. It's kind of like they said, let's take everything that ever happened in a Terminator movie and put it in this trailer. Yeah, that's a great idea. But if you want a big, dumb, fun robot movie, you know what? This is going to be it. It's even taking all the parts. Man, you're getting all the Terminators. You're going to see them fight each other. That's good to eat popcorn with during the summer.
Jason, do you agree that it still could be a fun, dumb action?
No. I think this trailer put the final nail in the Terminator coffin. This movie proved that Hollywood doesn't know how to make a Terminator movie. Like, they're gonna try to reboot it or do this weird time travel thing. They ran out of ideas that they were like, oh, make John Connor the villain, and somehow Sarah Connor knows who her son is, and just they don't know what to do, and they made this a jumbled mess. This is gonna be the most confusing, dumbest movie you've ever seen, and like, just stay the hell away from this. Just proves don't make Terminator movies anymore. Don't make them.
Trish.
I want it to be a big, dumb, fun robot movie. You can keep saying that a million times. I absolutely love it.
Don't steal my points.
But I'm not going
That's
to steal your
specific
point
Rem,
because I'm going to disagree when you say we have seen every single surprise that this movie has to offer. Unless you've read the script or you somehow have an inside source, we don't know that. I think revealing that John is going back to kill his mother turns everything on its head. We don't know what to expect anymore. Can we speculate? Absolutely. But I think to look at that trailer and say we absolutely know everything that's going to happen and how it's going to end, none of us know how it's going to end.
I'll give
yet.
you a list of major bullet points from that trailer that any discerning moviegoer who's watched movies for years will say, oh, they show it a little too much.
And they also
Schwarzenegger fighting Schwarzenegger.
Which was in the first
Reese
trailer.
coming back.
Which was in the first
John
trailer.
coming
I'll
back.
be back.
Which was in the first trailer.
John being an evil robot now. That wasn't in the first
Yeah,
trailer.
true.
Oh, 3 new Terminators now.
Awesome!
There is so
Awesome!
And that's why I'm saying it's a big dumb robot movie that could be fun.
Yeah, did it show me plot, character, and tone and get me excited to see a big, dumb robot movie? Hell
What a
yes.
mess.
I think it showed us
Could
a
be
continuity
fun.
mess of
Hell
crap.
All right,
Yeah.
so this one's tough. I do think, I'm going to be honest, I think you're crazy, Trisha. They showed way too much.
That's okay.
They showed way too much. So I think your argument there is moot because I think it's between these two, and I'm struggling because basically the only distinction is you say it's still fun to go see a dumb movie. You're saying, I'm out. I don't even want to go there. Oh, man. Preference-wise, I'm not letting that in, but that's the only way I can do that, and I'd rather not do that. So you're both getting points.
Oh!
Well done.
Good job,
Jason
guys.
and Hal are on the board.
I knew I was
because
taking the unpopular
I can't
one there.
decide if I want to see it or I don't, so I think you both made the
Yeah.
valid point. Dan.
2 quick things. Number 1, James Cameron does not get to walk away from this thing scot-free if it's a disaster because he did give them some pointers in the writing process.
He said Arnie's skin.
Yeah,
could
so
age,
he's definitely not completely hands off. Secondly, this whole Terminator trailer thing, this is a thing with the Terminator franchise. Terminator 2 did it. They gave away that Arnold was the good guy in the trailer.
And that movie was great.
Yep.
Terminator Salvation did it. They gave away that Sam Worthington was the robot, which was the big twist in the movie.
What
So
happened to Sam Worthington?
for some
Avatar.
reason,
He's on that planet.
for some reason, Terminator trailers just decide, hey, let's just spoil the
Throw it
movie
in.
for
Yeah, yeah.
everybody. Yeah, it's really strange.
But do you know anyone that could have just watched the T2 trailer and been okay not seeing T2?
Yeah, but T2, I think.
It would have been
two.
Terminator. You could sell
You hadn't
Terminator 2.
seen that
yeah.
effect yet, and it was just
Terminator
a lot
versus
going.
Terminator. You don't know who's playing for who.
All right, round 7.
Okay.
This is normally a tease for our Honest trailer, but I'll be honest, we actually are still debating which Honest trailer is going to come out Tuesday, so I don't have it for you. But if you follow me on Twitter, @Andy Signore, maybe I'll drop it to you on Sunday as you're watching.
Shameless plugs.
Shameless plug, just go see @Andy Signore.
That's the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That thing or just the plug?
Just that.
I'm doing that
This is a weird episode.
This is so weird.
Weirder than the Terminator trailer?
That was just bad.
Okay. That was bad. Mine was weird. I'll take it. Anyway, Sunday we'll tell you on Twitter at Screen Junkies and at me. We'll give you a tease, but we don't have it yet because we're still debating. It could be an exciting new thing or it could be a fun thing. So anyway, stay tuned. So this is a random question that we're just throwing out there. My tease is that there's no tease. But everyone has Star Wars in the brain, so we thought we'd end on one more Star Wars question, which was brought to us by PJ Yerman on Twitter, who asked us, in honor of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, what's the best second movie in a trilogy? So trilogies that exist in our moviedom and fandom.
And we can't pick Empire.
We can't pick Empire. What's
That's
the
illegal.
best second movie in a trilogy? And we're going to start with you, Hal.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty easy. Godfather 2.
All right, let's hear them all. Jason?
The Two Towers.
Two Towers, okay? Trisha?
Dark Knight.
Woo! All right, now we know where we stand. Hal, go for it.
Godfather 2 is the best film. One of the best
Out of
films
these three?
of all. It's the best film out of these three, and it's one of the best films of all time. It's masterfully directed, masterfully written by Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo, and the acting. Oh my God. And not just that, the scope of this film is so impressive. The fact that it goes back to tell the story of the Don coming of age.
Prequel?
Yeah.
Oh!
No.
I thought that was a dirty word.
It does. Thank goodness that this did it before
Thankfully
that
they didn't
garbage.
call it that, yeah.
Yeah. But it goes back in time and it stays current in time, and it parallels these two stories in some of the most breathtaking storytelling of all time in motion picture history. Keeping those two balls in the air, one of the most impressive feats. Not to mention, they were not planning to make this movie, but it was such a huge success. They said, let's go back and do this again. And they not only did justice to the first film, they won another Best Picture Oscar. Godfather 2 is one of the great films of all time.
Is there another
and
sequel
easily.
that's won the Oscar? It's a good point. Will you
Yes,
look it up for
yes,
us?
there is another
Well,
sequel.
Return of the King was a
It's
sequel.
That's true.
Yeah, it's Return of the King.
Okay, speaking of Return of the King, before that there was the Two Towers.
There was the Two Towers. I think when you look at the best second movie of a trilogy, you need a movie that complements the first one, ratchets it up the tension, and also gives a good intro into the third movie. And I think Two Towers, while the underdog probably in this argument, does that very well because it takes the epicness. You talked about the epicness. Like, you cannot get more epic than the Battle of Middle Earth and all of our world just crumbling. And in the second movie, they go a little bit darker with it, and they make it more personal by making that amazing set piece of Helm's Deep, by taking this fantasy world of Middle Earth and bringing it down to the simple battle of a king and its people fighting for the night. And there's that amazing battle where they're like, the entire night, we're going to die. We're not making it through this. This army is going to kill us. And by them succeeding in the last moment, it gives us a nice little setup that be like, oh, well, maybe we can defeat Sauron. And it gives us a nice little push right into Return of the King. Plus, it was the first movie of motion capture. It was Andy Serkis. That movie made Andy Serkis' career with Gollum. And it has Carl Urban, which is always a plus.
Trisha, Dark Knight.
I love Lord of the Rings, so I just loved hearing that argument, by the way. I'll throw that out there.
But why is yours better?
Oh, yeah.
So, better as a second movie specifically, yes. I'm going to say The Dark Knight because I think that a great sequel to any movie, a great middle movie, takes what we've gotten from our first movie but improves upon it in every way. And I think the natural improvement that we see in a middle movie in a trilogy is that the effects have gotten better, the scale of the sets have gotten better now that we've proven this is a trilogy worth putting money into. to. Studios put money into it. That being said, I think that Dark Knight excels not in those ways, in other ways. The plot of Dark Knight is so multi-layered, way more so than the first film. I think that the character study and the character development is fantastic. When we look at our sociopathic Heath Ledger Joker, we really get insight into who he is in this movie. Speaking of Heath Ledger, the performances are absolutely breathtakingly fantastic. All the way around, this is a great movie, and it puts the audience in this dark mindset of a crazy, fantastical enemy that you don't know what they're going to do next because they're not driven by any sort of logic. And I believe that very successfully tapped into how a lot of people felt after 9/11. We have an enemy that we absolutely cannot predict, and the fear and the terror that comes with that, and how do you battle that? And in this movie, we saw that it can be those shining moments of people that aren't perfect that help make that world a better place.
You want to talk
Wow,
about...
Dan, is Trish the first one to play the 9/11 card on movie fights?
I was just sitting here thinking the same thing.
Because kudos.
I think so.
Go ahead, Al.
You want to talk about a dark character study? Michael Corleone was pulled into the family, and he did not want to become the head of the family, but he became a ruthless man. And so much so, I'll play Michael Corleone killing his brother over any of those moments. And by the way, to say Dark Knight is a better film than Godfather 2, it makes me rankle, because take Heath Ledger out of that film and it's actually a pedestrian movie.
You can't take Heath Ledger out of that film.
I know.
You can't.
But
That's like saying, let's take
but-
Don Corleone out of Godfather 2. You can't do that.
But you'd still have Oscar winner Robert De Niro. Pacino and De Niro in that film. It was De Niro's first Academy Award win, and with the second Lord of the Rings film, that's not even the best film in the trilogy. So and the whole trilogy, it got like a Lifetime Achievement Award when the thing when the last
and
movie
that's
won.
the difference between my movie and your guys' two movies, is that my movie is very much more connected to the first and third movies of their trilogy. It's very connected. Dark Knight is very disconnected from Batman Begins. It has a little bit in The Dark Knight Rises, but it's very disconnected. And your movie is like, does anything really connect to Godfather 3? It's been a while since I've seen it. So I mean, but like,
I don't know about the arbitrary rules of trilogies that you're making up right
second
now.
movie of a trilogy.
But we're not saying best trilogy.
No.
We're saying best second movie
of
in
a
a trilogy.
trilogy.
Yeah. So
Not best sequel.
We're not saying best sequel. We're not saying best trilogy.
Right.
We're saying best second movie of the trilogy, and the best second. Oh, talk about a continuation
You
of
had
a
your
story.
piece. Tell me why yours
It took everything from the first movie, this giant fantastical
versus
world.
these two though.
Um,
Because I heard that.
Got
part.
it. Two Towers really took Fellowship of the Ring, and it excelled in it. And you were saying it's the best of the three. I think Two Towers is the best of the three because it doesn't have that multiple fade to black, fade to black, fade to black, fade to black. You know, of course it's the coda, but that personal moment of this epic fantasy world distilled into that, are we going to survive the night, really sets up the stakes for like this battle for Middle Earth, and that's going to happen in the third movie is going to be epic. And oh man, how far have we come since the first movie? And I think it gives you more of the journey of a trilogy, more so than your second movies.
I absolutely disagree.
Hold on, we're gonna let Trisha go first, and then you'll wrap us up. Go
So
ahead.
what I was going to say is I think that your point about Two Towers really tying 1 and 3 together actually argues against it being such a great movie. If it's dependent on 1 and 3 to be a movie, I think that makes a less powerful movie than a movie that can stand alone and at the same time ties the trilogy together. I would also argue and I love Two Towers. I absolutely love it, but I would say of
And I
the
love Dark
three,
Knight, so we're good. Yeah, we're good.
yeah, yay. I would say of the three, it probably is the one that had the most drag on moments. I do not think that it can compare to Godfather 2 or to the Dark Knight. I don't think that it can. And in regards to Godfather 2, I agree Don Corleone's an amazing villain, a very dark character study, but it's a different kind of character study. To me, a mafia boss who acts according to his own rules, and we as the audience know what the rules are, is less terrifying than an enemy that we can't predict at all.
Oh, you're completely missing the point. Michael Corleone, his evolution as a character, he was the reluctant Don. he got in there. He did not want to take over for the family. His wife, Diane Keaton, did not want him to take over for the family, but he took over, and then he ended up doing what he had to do. And you both talk about journeys and character studies. There are two amazing ones in this film. Robert De Niro, seeing him go from an innocent man who came over from Italy and was just trying to make it, and then killed this man in New York and rose to power, and how he became the leader of the family, and then Michael Corleone becoming so evil that he ends up killing his brother. Wow. And those two epic
Versus
stories.
these two. Lastly, quick.
It's more epic in nature because it ties those two amazing journeys together. And talk about character studies. Michael Corleone, wow, his evolution to killing his brother, startling. And the writing, their backs were against the wall, and they made another film that won the Oscar.
You said another thing. I'm calling it. Sorry. You said another thing too, which was take Heath Ledger out, and it's a tougher movie. I think. I'm basing between these two because I do think Two Towers is strong.
I saw as soon as we
I think she even sort of they both death blowed you, and it was out because it did become between these two. And I think between Godfather and Dark Knight, there is just a lot more going on in Godfather. Heath Ledger, I think up the top of all performances ever. I would get it, and even what you said about the villain, you don't know where he's going. Huge wins, but I think he's got 10 more there.
It's a great movie.
He's
Godfather's
doing it's hard to. If you haven't watched The Godfather, or at least 1 and 2, go do yourself a service.
Yeah,
and watch
stop it too. That's
and
my
watch
order.
Dark Knight and watch Two Towers. But Hal gets the point.
Yeah.
And that takes Hal into the finals to our speed round. Jason's with 2. He's out. I didn't even realize that was happening. We didn't realize it was close. Hal comes in with 3. Trisha, you are in with 4.
But I get to help
You
you.
are in the lead, and you get to help Jason. That's right. Dan, before
good.
we do our speed round, any last quick, we have to hurry.
2 very quick things. Just actually, it's Trisha's favor. You said Don Corleone. A lot of people wrongfully assume that Don Corleone only refers to Marlon Brando, and they'll say, "Whoa, he wasn't in Godfather 2." Don Corleone, it's the head of it. Michael was Don Corleone.
Right,
as
the
well.
Don.
So,
The Don.
So just
Yeah.
to diffuse that controversy. And secondly,
Thank you.
it's really teeny tiny thing. How Michael didn't technically kill Fredo. Al Neri pulled the trigger on Michael's orders.
Oh.
Right.
But I know it's ticky tack, but that's what I'm here
It's
for.
a technicality.
We'll let Hal still have it.
No, it's you didn't do anything wrong. I'm here to fend off
to
YouTube
defend.
comments. That's
Good.
what I'm here
All
to
right.
do.
Can I preface this
Thank
by
you, Dan.
saying I notoriously take a big poop on the table during the speed round. So
good way to psych him out.
Yeah.
I made a big pee-pee on the table
Yeah,
during
we
one speed round. So.
we call it the Hal Rudnick move. He did such a big poo-poo.
Don't run it again.
But the Hal Rudnick move is actually out now
good.
because we've changed the rules. We did it in the championship. We're keeping the rules here. So quickly, before we cue the music,
I'm
I
gonna
want
listen
everyone to
to the rules
understand.
this time.
Listen to the rules. You have a chance to win 5 extra points to take the win. So
Okay.
even though she's in the lead by 1, here's the chance to excel and win them all. Now, panel with the lowest points automatically out. Jason, thank you.
Yep.
But you will come in handy. The eliminated player, Jason, and the fact checker will actually help me weigh in on the winners in these votes. Make sense?
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be falling to me. We want a unanimous decision. So to make sure that these count, I will check with them to see if they agree, and then the unanimous decision, I will be the tiebreaker. We'll decide if you've won each round. Now, if you both say the same answer at the same time, traditionally, whoever said it first is out or wins. In this case, that's not the case. If you say something first, that's what you're defending. The other person has to quickly give us another one the other one, and you will still get a chance to fight. So you're not knocked out by just saying the wrong thing at the same time. Make
Okay.
sense? You will
Okay.
each get a chance to fight.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely the Hal Rudnick rule.
Yeah, so we've learned that it's not fair that you just because they said it
Because of
first,
speed,
they
yeah.
win. It's
Right.
not fair. We want you guys to fight. This is called movie fights. That's why we've adjusted that rule.
Very cool.
Does everyone understand that rule? So if I say a movie and you both say the same movie, whoever said it first has picked that movie. The other person must then pick the other movie or something else quickly.
But if someone
I
says
will
it
do a
first,
very quick timeline.
if someone says it first and argues for it, you can't wait till they're done and then pick a second one.
No.
Got it.
We're gonna need to know where you guys stand before
Got
the
it.
argument begins.
I'm ready. Back to the Future.
Ready?
Damn
Hal Rudnick. All right. Fast, quick answers with short follow-ups. Everyone understand this ruling, and I will be using Jason and Dan. And please, Jason, be unbiased here.
I'll go on their arguments.
That's about the best argument here. Everyone understand the rules?
Yes.
All right, let's cue the music and begin the speed round. I want to cover up my beautiful
I
shirt
panic
there.
under pressure.
Okay.
I'm so bad.
All right. No pressure, guys. Marvel versus DC. Ready? Both of these movies are playing at the same time on cable. Which one do we watch? Ben Affleck's Daredevil or Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern?
Green Lantern.
Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
Okay, Trisha gets Green Lantern, and that means you'll be defending
Daredevil, yeah.
Trisha, tell us about Green Lantern. Why would you rather watch that one?
Because Ryan Reynolds always has some redeeming quality when it comes to comedy. So even if the movie itself is not that good, you can enjoy the Ryan Reynolds.
Hal?
No way. I'm glad I got Daredevil. He's our Batman. I want to see what he did in that movie. I want to see Ben Affleck as a superhero. Watching Daredevil is the hands down choice.
Nah, Trisha wins, I think.
What?
But what do you think?
The Batman argument.
Okay, wait.
That's tough. I think Trish had a little bit stronger of a point in that Ryan Reynolds himself will win you over a little bit more. I go with Trisha.
Yes.
All right.
Trisha wins by unanimous 2-1.
That's not
not
unanimous.
Well, not unanimous.
I forgot my own rule, so I was about to call the winner. I'm like, no, wait, I got to make sure this is unanimous. Ununanimous. What is that called when it's two?
It's a split decision.
Split. All right, Trisha still gets it.
Woo!
Number 2. Hollywood's best Matthew or Matt?
McConaughey.
Broderick.
Okay. McConaughey, why?
McConaughey is an Oscar winner. He did True Detective. He won for Dallas Buyers Club. He's taken his career to the next level. He brings such an awesome quality to movies. He's a really dependable actor and just stirring performances in so many of his later films. And he also had a comedy career.
Trisha.
I'm going to say Broderick because he is wonderfully adept at all types of entertainment. We've seen him in all different mediums, and we've seen him do a lot of different jobs.
Okay, I have a decision. We need to hear more. Do you guys have a stance?
Go ahead, Dan.
Daniel, start this one.
I'm going to give the edge to McConaughey. It's close, but I'm giving the edge to Hal.
Hal sealed it for me when he said McConaughey, Dallas Buyers Club.
I agree. I think the listing of what he specifically did was more important than the variety. Hal gets the point. All right. Round 3. We all understand how this works now. This is intense, but we're doing good. You each got a point on the board for the speed round. Moving on to question 3. Best movie directed by Michael Bay.
Transformers 1.
Transformers 1 versus The Rock. Go ahead, Hal, with The Rock.
The Rock is one of the great action movies of all time. Man, that adventure on Alcatraz, Sean Connery, it's Michael Bay when Michael Bay was good. It's before he became Transformers Michael Bay, which she just said.
Trisha, why
The reason
Transformers?
that I would say the first Transformers is because it inspired how many other films. Love it or hate it, there were a ton of people that loved it and not only went to see it once, but went to see it again. So when you're talking about what makes a good movie, this is certainly a blockbuster film, and I think it got people back into the Transformers franchise that weren't necessarily your niche fanboy.
All right, now, Jason, you're making the call, and again, it's not our preference, it's the argument. Jason.
Trisha lost me when she said that Transformers inspired other films. I have to give it to Hal.
Dan.
I agree with Jason. I think that's a bad road to take because these films the Transformers inspired were not good films. So I'm giving
That's
with
a
Hal
solid
too.
point.
Yeah.
All right, doesn't matter what my pick was, but I would have picked Hal too.
Yep.
That's a solid point.
But you almost were close, because
you
whether
almost
good
had
or
it.
bad, they
Yeah.
did inspire a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
But the inspiring films, I think, you might have had it if you hadn't said that, because do we really want it to inspire films, though?
Inspired the creation of more.
It made more money. Anyway,
Money.
that was close.
Yep.
Money.
Hal's on the board again. All right.
All right.
You keeping track for score for
Tie.
me, Dan?
Oh
All
my
right,
gosh.
tie game.
Oh,
Oh
there
my
we go.
gosh.
Woo!
Oh, mama.
Number 4. Hollywood's best Kate.
Winslet.
Ooh,
I heard Hal.
I heard Hal first. Yeah.
So Trisha, pick another one.
Blanchett.
Whoa. All right.
I'll take it, even though it's spelled differently. I'll take
That's a
it.
Kate. Still
That's
a Kate.
a Kate.
It's the C, but it's okay.
Kate's a
You didn't know
Kate's a
which one I
Kate.
meant. Hal, why Winslet?
She's an Oscar winner, and she has such a varied body of work. From Little Children to blockbusters like Titanic, she has been all over the place with her various performances, and she's so human. She's so accessible, and I give her that over Cate Blanchett. Kate Winslet is the more accessible actor. Cate Blanchett has an air in all of her films that doesn't make her quite as human.
Time.
I'd say we're not arguing accessibility. We're arguing the scale of the talent. And I would say Cate Blanchett in her training and also in scope of work. Scope of work for her is incredible as well. I think that she definitely brings it. And I would say if you put Kate Winslet and Cate Blanchett in an audition room together, who would book the role? Definitely Blanchett. No questions.
Who knows?
I'm gonna pick a vote first since I think it's my turn.
Sure.
I gotta go with you made a good point. She's more human. She takes those more weird human roles where I feel like Cate Blanchett does those things. And you listed off a good transition of Little Children and Titanic are such different roles. I'm gonna go with Winslet on his argument. Dan?
I feel like you both kind of tied on the talent argument because they're both great actors, and I think that who would get the part, that's a very subjective thing. I think either one of them could, so I think Hal made the extra point by saying that she does seem like a more, I don't know, I thought he had the better argument.
More
so,
human.
Okay.
Yes, more
There's
human.
something
Yeah,
weirdly
there's
more
something
human
more
about her.
relatable to
Not
Kate
elfish.
Winslet. Yes. I thought that was...
Hey, there's nothing wrong with elfish.
I knocked him
I
out.
would have gone
yeah.
Blanchett.
You would have gone Blanchett.
I would've gone
Oh, they
Blanchett
would have made a
off
fun
her,
time.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Hal gets the point.
Doesn't matter.
There's one more that could take us to a tiebreaker, or Hal will take it.
Or
So this
Hal
is
will
on the
take
line.
it.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Both of these movies are on cable at the same time. Which do we watch? Lady in the Water or The Happening?
The Happening.
Lady in the water then. Fine.
All right, Hal, you said it first. You go first.
The Happening is such an enjoyable hate watch. It's so much fun. It's the best. It might be the best unintentional comedy of our time. Wahlberg talking to the plant. Wahlberg's acting, period. Huh? Lady in the Water is a god-awful film. We did a Screen Junkies episode where I had to watch every Shyamalan movie. I watched that. I watched Airbender. I watched Lady in the Water.
Time.
Terrible.
Trisha.
I'm going to say if you have to see, if they're both on cable at the same time, which is the question, I would say Lady in the Water just for the fact that there's nothing else like it out there. It is completely unique, and if you haven't seen it yet, you should. Even if it's to talk about it on an episode of Screen Junkies later and how bad it is. You're exposing yourself to something different than anything you've seen before.
Jason, I think you get the first call this time.
I would have been won over if Trisha had brought up the acting talent of Paul Giamatti. I have to give it to Hal.
Dan.
I gotta give it to Hal. I think he wins.
Yeah.
No!
What? No.
No! Hal finally won!
Hal finally wins, I
Congratulations!
A great moment in sports.
Wow.
Your first win
Off the
is
Love It
disputed.
Baby.
Yeah,
Well
man.
Your first win is
Well
disputed by a lot of record checkers, even though we've made it official. They say, no, you have a tie. This is your first official
True
win.
win.
Hal
True
Rudnick.
win.
Thank you.
Well
It feels good. And
Huzzah.
thank you for pushing me to the edge, both you guys. You made me fight damn hard. It
That was
feels good.
that was
man.
intense.
Yeah.
You did really fantastic,
Wow.
Trisha. Thank you. Jason, so did you. I think that was a very, very long, awesome, hard fight. Thank you guys so much. Wow, good job, Hal. All right. I don't have my final notes here. I hope nothing was important. Oh, here we go. I do. Sorry. Lost my. I dropped them.
Hosting.
We're out of time. As always, please tell us in the comments below what'd you think. Who do you want to see come on fight, and what question do you want us to ask in the next movie fights? What's the best fight that you want to hear us debate about? I also want to thank you again to tell you to please check out our new shirts, districtlines.com/screenjunkies. Check out and go support it. Movie fights shirts, they're coming soon. They're not there yet, but we're figuring out what they are. But in the meanwhile, support Screen Junkies. Check those out if you want to show you're proud. Also, iTunes, the new RSS feed. It's hard to say. Please subscribe, rate, and review if you're watching on YouTube. Go check it out. There's a link. You can click. You can go subscribe to it. It'll show up on your iPod or iPhone, whatever. Your Zune, if you still got that. That way you can listen to it on the road if you're like, man, I'm going to miss movie fights. No way. Take it with you and listen to it on iTunes. Or any of those other, I don't actually do any other things. There are other podcast venues to listen to things, right? Wherever it is.
Stitcher.
Yeah, go subscribe and support it. I want to thank each of our panelists here. Hal Rudnick, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm going to Disneyland. Hit me up on Twitter at Hal Rudnick.
Awesome job. Well earned. Jason Inman, wow, thank you for bringing the heat there at
John,
Jawin.
follow me on Twitter. You can see all the videos I do for Screen Junkies and DC and my own channel, too.
Fantastic. Red Shirt Diaries coming up soon?
Red Shirt Diary Season 2 coming soon, starring Mr. Hal Rudnick
Looking
as well.
forward to it.
Oh. Can Nick Mundy make a cameo too?
Nick Mundy is making 2 cameos.
Oh. And I'm making cameos. Jeez. Hello. Or Trisha better make a cameo. Trisha, what? Thank that girl Trish on Twitter, right?
Yeah, at that girl Trish, but there's no I in the girl, so it's that GRL Trish. Very confusing, I know. But yeah, you can check me out there on Twitter. Also, and I tweet this out all the time, but I do video game streams on Twitch. I've got my YouTube channel, and like Andy mentioned earlier, I'm hosting Super Fan Builds and a whole bunch of new shows for Escapists.
Don't you have a naked show?
Yeah,
Whoa.
it sounds really bad when you
No.
say it like that.
Guys, check out Trisha's naked show on her channel. Giving you a good plug.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I'm gonna forewarn everybody. If you're looking for porn, that's a different site. My show is from the shoulders up only ever. So
Trying to help. They were gonna go
Thank
over
you.
that.
No. I mean, it definitely is a naked show.
naked.
It's naked.
It's. I mean, if you're-
Naked topics,
Can I-
everything.
Am I allowed to say? If you're looking for fat material, this is not the show for you.
Okay.
Unless
Well, I
you're
don't know.
really into collarbones. If you have like a
sometimes
big
people
collarbone.
are into weird things.
I'm a clavicle man.
We've posted some videos of Hal Rudnick talking, and they say it's easy to do that too.
Oh yeah.
Depends on what you're into. But anyway, check out all your fantastic things. Thank you for watching. Please follow me on Twitter. Before I do that,
Don't forget
why
Dan.
do I keep forgetting you, Dan?
I don't know.
Dan, take some time.
The
Enjoy
change-
the view.
I'm at Murrell down on at Murrell Dan on Twitter, and my naked show From the Shoulders Down will premiere on my YouTube channel. So no, God, no.
I helped Dan develop that show.
By
yeah.
the way, Dan just passed 10,000 followers
He
on
did.
Twitter.
10,000.
I
Good work.
Thank you.
At Merle Dan,
At
go
Merle
tell
Dan
him.
on Twitter.
that
Hey,
you
Dan,
wanna
I
keep
have one
fighting.
question for you. Where do you keep the belt?
Now that you've won, I feel like you have a taste for blood, and I can't tell you how.
Oh.
I think you might be coming
He
after
does.
it.
He keeps it secret. And if it disappears, I get a text. Where'd it go? But anyway, thank you. Please follow everybody here. Follow me at Andy Signore, Twitter and Instagram.
Woo, woo.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Or if you prefer to listen on iTunes, click the logo to download an audio version.